A reading from the first letter of Paul to the Corinthians. Brothers and sisters, we speak a wisdom to those who are mature, not a wisdom of this age, nor of the rulers of this age who are passing away. Rather, we speak God's wisdom, mysterious, hidden, which God predetermined before the ages for our glory, and which none of the rulers of this age knew. For if they had known it, they would not have crucified the Lord of glory. But as it is written, what eye has not seen, and ear has not heard, and what has not entered the human heart, what God has prepared for those who love Him, this God has revealed to us through the Spirit. For the Spirit scrutinizes everything, even the depths of God. The Word of the Lord.
The second reading for this Sunday is taken from the first letter of St. Paul to the Corinthians. We have been reflecting on true freedom in obeying God's commandments. In the first reading from the book of Sirach, we see how God has equipped us to obey freedom. And the first reading sort of encourages us to use that freedom to choose the path of obedience to God. For in obedience to God, we find life. God does not command anything that will lead us to sin or to self-destruction. But we know that the misuse of freedom amounts to choosing what is not in accord with God's desire, that we live fully and not destroy ourselves. In the second reading, St. Paul talks about the Holy Spirit that purifies human freedom. Yes, freedom is part of God's gift to all human beings. But this freedom which is often abused, is now purified by the Holy Spirit. St. Paul talks about the wisdom of this world. The wisdom of this world that is often used towards self-destruction. I guess even up to our times, we can give examples of so-called exercises of human wisdom, which in the end lead people to destruction of life in the name of freedom. Like teenagers who will say to their parents, I am a grown-up person now. Please respect my freedom. They don't want any limitation on their so-called freedom. But they use the freedom in order to really self-destruct. Embracing vices. Embracing all wrong advices or counsels from people who do not care for them. Being gullible, in terms of advertising and all the influences of materialism and ambition. At first, that is enjoyable. Oh, I can do what I want to do. But if you look at it closely, it is the wisdom of this world leading to self-destruction. And the first reading says, God does not command anything that will lead to our destruction. But that is the wisdom of this world. It can entice us so that we think it is the wiser way to go. But St. Paul tells us, we who have followed Jesus Christ, we have been given a share of the wisdom of God. Thanks to the Holy Spirit that scrutinizes the deep things of God. And this Holy Spirit scrutinizes all matters. And if we allow the Holy Spirit to work in our hearts, then our eyes will be opened. We will acquire the vision that only the wisdom of God could give. We will be given also the purity of motivation and heart that will enable us to choose the path of God leading to life. So here, it is not enough that we have freedom. St. Paul tells us human freedom has been touched, especially for believers, has been touched by the Holy Spirit. This is a grace. But to my dear brothers and sisters in the Christian faith, this is added responsibility. We cannot claim now, oh, I did not know. Well, aside from freedom, we have the Holy Spirit enabling us to see the wisdom of God. Are we using our freedom responsibly? Are we allowing the Holy Spirit to purify our exercise of freedom so that we will choose the path of life and not the path of the world, which leads to self-destruction?